kind of an interesting. Her name is pronounced I know.
Yeah,
Really?
She's in the whole.
Oh, is she? I thought I recognized her. Yeah, I don't know how to make a joke. Somebody can if they want. I'll mess it up.
Yeah,
I go, I think I know something, but
I'd leave that alone.
yeah, I'm not gonna.
I'm gonna put my phone here. I can't do shit phone. Game's over, believe me. Ask the 49ers, the game's over. Before it started, you better believe it.
Okay, the hour being 7 o'clock, I'll call this meeting to order. Let's see, let's have the fire guys that were a little bit busy today, if they could lead us in the pledge. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I hope you don't mind being referred to as the fire guys. Yeah, you've probably heard worse. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Mayor,
Councilman Kilpack.
I'd like to take item under ordinances, item A, have that removed from the agenda.
And with that, approve the agenda with the removal of item A.
Yes,
Item
I'd
A.
like to have the agenda approved with item A removed.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Kilpack and seconded by Councilman Shuttern. Is there any discussion?
Mayor,
Go ahead, Councilman Burke.
just to clarify, that's A under ordinances.
Okay,
not
right.
A under the public hearings.
Okay, so for the record, it's A under ordinances. Any other discussion or comments? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Okay, I have a proclamation here for Random Act of Kindness Week, which I will read. Whereas the city of Green River recognizes the value of simple acts of kindness performed without prompting or reason, and how these acts can positively impact the person offering kindness, the person receiving the act of kindness, and those witnessing. And whereas acts of kindness can be performed by any person in the city of Green River, regardless of age, origin, education, gender, religious belief, lifestyle, or abilities for the good around them. And whereas kind individuals can create a more caring community and help to perpetuate genuine acts of kindness within their city, state, and even throughout the world. And whereas we seek to cultivate thoughtful and compassionate residents by teaching our youth to make a difference through random acts of kindness. And whereas Random Acts of Kindness Week is recognized as an international celebration intended to encourage all of us to practice acts of kindness in our homes, in our schools, in our businesses and communities. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Pete Russ, Mayor, do hereby proclaim February 13th through the 19th as City of Green River Random Acts of Kindness Week. And I encourage the people of Green River to practice random acts of kindness in the spirit of compassion, kindness, and goodwill towards all persons. We're going to take a picture here and then we'll move on.
I give her a hard time all the time. All day meetings.
Okay, excuse me. Item 5, citizen requests and other communications. Are there any citizens in the audience that are not on the agenda that would like to address the council? Okay, moving on. Item 6, public hearings. Item A, public hearing on a rezoning request from B2 downtown business to B1 general business. Go ahead.
Amy Cox, Planning and Zoning Administrator. Well, I had a lot to say, but I thought there was going to be a lot more people here on the other end. So the United Pentecostal Church and Smith's Food and Drug submitted an application for a zone change proposal. It's the city's job to guide them through the process. And in this case, the first step is to establish the use requiring the rezone. Once the rezone is approved, the second step is to submit a formal site plan. So tonight's public hearing is to provide an opportunity for the public to provide and receive information about the proposed zone change. We are here because the proposed gas kiosk is not currently a permitted use in a B2 downtown business district, therefore requiring the zone change to B1, which is general business. There are only a handful of uses that are different between the current and proposed zoning districts. A church is permitted in both. If the zone change is approved and Smith's decides to not move forward with the gas kiosk, not only will gas sales be a permitted use, but it will also open the door for other uses that are not currently permitted, such as motor vehicle related sales and service, rental, repair, maintenance, mobile home sales, car wash, veterinarian, commercial greenhouse, indoor storage could be permitted through a special use permit. The only uses that will no longer be permitted if rezoned to B1 that are currently permitted either by right or by special use permit would be single family residential or multi-unit dwellings. That's the only use that will no longer be permitted there. As for the specific site plan and development details, that is not why we are here tonight. The plans that are submitted are only conceptual at this time, and we don't have a formal site plan submittal. So formal site plan submittal will take place if and following approval of a zone change. Questions about the site plan and details are good though, because it still helps the applicant when preparing the formal site plan for submittal. And a lot of the questions will be sorted out and addressed during the major site plan review phase. So normally we would have the first reading of the ordinance the same night as our city council public hearing following tonight's public hearing. But at the planning and zoning public hearing, former or current church members questioned the authority of the person who signed the rezone request as the property owner on behalf of the church. The Planning and Zoning Commission unanimously recommended approval of the proposed change with the understanding that the applicant would work out proper authority concerns through or during the rezone process. The city then requested the applicant to provide the city with a corporate resolution of the property owner reflecting the authority of the signer. So the church is currently in the process of preparing the requested documents, but since they did not have it tonight, that's why we removed the action item for the first reading. So it has been removed from the agenda for tonight, but once we receive them, it will be placed on the city council agenda for the first reading of the ordinance following the receival of those documents. The church zone changes are acted on by ordinance and require 3 readings. And at this point, Rick Magnus is here. He's the project representative here tonight, so he can answer any other questions you may have. If you have anything for me.
Does anybody have any questions for Amy? And remembering that we're not talking about the site plan, we're talking about the zone change, right?
Clear on the zone change.
What was your comment?
I'm clear on the zone change.
Okay. Okay, who else? Did you have a comment, or were your comment going to be on the site plan and therefore that's not really what we're talking about tonight?
I just had a general question.
I think you can bring up your question and we'll see.
Okay, just a general question. I was just curious if this kiosk is going to coexist with the church or the church building is coming down.
The church would be coming down.
Okay, thank you.
I should probably say one other thing. I did have a gentleman in my office today. I thought he was going to be here tonight. He had a concern about garbage blowing over. He owns a lot adjacent to this. And so there's a lot of garbage that already comes from Smith's. So just wanted to add that to the record, but thank you.
Okay, is there anybody else that would like to address the council? Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Rick Magnus with AWA or Anderson Wallen Engineering, and we represent the applicant. We represent a number of Smith's marketplaces around the country and a lot of the fuel centers and that. Just by way of clarification, we will be moving forward with this. We wanted to just get, this first portion kind of, if you will, out of the way, the zone change that would allow us to have this use. And we're continuing to work forward with design plans and a site plan application here to the city. And we understand the process. And may I also say publicly also, Mayor and Council, you have wonderful staff. They have been very good to work with. And having done a lot of this in different municipalities, you're blessed to have the staff that you have. You probably are familiar with Smith's, how they sometimes have a fueling center outside of the perimeter of their store. That's the intent here. The zone change is required because they're, of course, as Amy mentioned, it's required so that we can have this, but there actually is a split zoning on this parcel. And we need to it's kind of a way to clean it up, I guess, but it will be a unified zone change. The application will create two parcels. It will create a parcel to the north that is going to be sold and conveyed to the adjacent property owners. So there is not going to be some type of landlocked situation. That's not even allowed. So, and there will be cross-access easements within the property, especially with the adjacent parking lot and that. This is a 24-hour operation, although the kiosk won't be manned 24 hours. In other words, the dispensers will be available for transactions. We find that works really well. There is, when we come back for a site plan, we'll explain why we have the kiosk. It actually has a restroom for the attendant. It has also a control center for the dispensers and all of that, and then of course the one small area for transactions and some various concessions. So with that, I just want to represent that it's the intent to really move forward with this, and I'm just here this evening to answer any questions that you may have.
Mayor,
Go ahead, Councilman.
I have a couple of questions. The one question I have is, why are you picking this location since it is not part of your parking lot?
So quite often, we do not have adjacency for some of our fuel centers. That occurs in different states, and it just has to do with the availability of a parcel. And there is somewhat close proximity to Smith's, but it was the best location for us to do that. These fuel centers, they basically don't generate traffic, they capture traffic that is existing. And so this location was preferable at that time.
And then the other question I have is, my understanding is Smith has an ownership or relationship with Loaf and Jug, with the station that's just 100 yards down on the corner. And so why would they want to be putting one just that close to a gas station that they already either have ownership or have partial ownership in it?
So that particular, that has been transacted away from the Smiths and their ownership. I cannot tell you which year it was, but there was a lot of transactions going on. This was one of them where this particular property was, it's no longer Smith's.
No. But we still get the disc.
Yeah. The relationship is the points. I mean, it's kind of like an Associated Foods. They just use the point system to.
So the points are there right now. So if you do that kiosk, will that remove the points from
No,
that station?
they'll be shared. It'll still continue.
So that kind of complicates my question, because that would mean both places are getting the same benefit. So,
Well, it's actually the consumer that's getting the benefit.
right, but it wouldn't matter whether they went to the kiosk or whether they went on the corner.
Absolutely. their
So I wouldn't
choice.
see a need for the kiosk, but
Yeah.
anyway, it just kind of complicates in my mind the.
Yeah.
need
So,
for the
so the loaf and jug itself, the ownership of delivery system, the sale of fuel and all of that is not in the control of Smith's at the loaf and jug. That's what this is about, is having another business model out front on a parcel that can actually benefit, because the other thing is that a church does not generate tax for a community. And I'm not here to judge that, but this particular use will generate taxes for the community, be it however large or small that may be.
Thank you.
Of course.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we need we don't need a motion to approve on this. Okay, so we've had the first hearing. Oh, that's right. Okay, so anybody else have any comments? Okay, I'm closed the public hearing. Thank you, Reed. Okay, item 7, board and committee appointments. Appointment of Wendy Bartlett to the Green River Tree Board. Wendy has volunteered to serve on the Green River Tree Board. Wendy currently serves as board president for the United Way of Southwest Wyoming. She was born and raised in Green River and would love to help serve her community. Do we have a motion?
Mayor?
George? Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, Mayor, I move we approve Wendy Bartlett to the appointment of the Green River Tree Board.
Okay, this is for a 3-year term, February 1st, 2022, expiring February 1st, 2025. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Joe, seconded by Councilman Kilpack. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Okay, we're not doing ordinances, so we move right to council action items. Item A, consideration of a software agreement with Converge One to provide managed network services for the city.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight, before you use a contract with Converge One to manage our network for us. We've had a tough time getting network analysts into the city. In fact, I've lost 3 in the last year and a half. And most of it's just a pay issue. To get them into the price we need, we went through a round set of interviews. We went 5 months to get 2 qualified candidates, and that didn't work out so well for us. So this company brings in a lot of expertise into that to manage our network. They bring in a lot of the experts in that. This is a contract for a 1-year agreement for them. It will be about the same cost. Actually, it's a little less than the cost than hiring a network analyst for 1 year. There's some pluses and minuses to the agreement. The pluses are they will bring in several people that will be experts in our different platforms and that, and I won't have to spend time training somebody up in that. And some of it is everything will be remote. We won't have anybody on site except for 2 network technicians. They're the next level down, and we are going through the process to hire We have one now and we're going to hire a second one. But given the current model and the current availability to get network analysts in right now in our current pay scale, I believe this is the best option for the city for the next 6 months to a year to get some issues fixed in our network.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Seems pretty straightforward. Does anybody have any questions of Chris? Okay, seeing none, we'll entertain a motion.
Yeah,
Who is that? Councilman Zimmerman, sorry.
it's okay. I move to approve the agreement with Converge One for managed support services and authorize the mayor to sign the agreement pending approval by legal counsel.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Zimmerman, seconded by Councilman Shuttren. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. It's unanimous. Item B, consideration to authorize the submission of a Wyoming State Fire Prevention and Electrical Safety Electrical Contractor License application to the state of Wyoming. Go ahead, Reed.
Mayor, Council, before you, we're able to work, as you know, trying to get a master's electrician and having our contract on the side. Same thing, similar to IT, the difficulty getting that. We've, one of our employees, Jason Palmer, has received his master electrician's license. He actually worked under a former Green River employee when he started working on getting his electrical license working. And he has performed the required hours and had also tested on it. And he'd come to me wondering if there would be a possibility where we could, he has to have this license of what they consider parked or placed with the contractor within a certain time. And he doesn't have any plans to leave the city and doesn't do it on the side, but he'd like the city to be able to utilize that if possible. It will require us to make a few changes in terms of how we direct Jason and what that job may be and some of the things. At the very start of this, we will probably begin to review the types of jobs that would require the electrical work. I mean, it could be from low voltage to running Cat 5 to stuff within our buildings. Be able to help with some of the work as we move into the new treatment plant and some of that stuff. So in looking at it from a longer term perspective, I think it's something that we're going to put a little bit more direction towards, and how we're going to cross matrix work within our organization, within departments, and being able to have Jason be a part of that, and any electrical work has to have his oversight on it. So we figured this could be a good move as we move forward.
Okay, thanks, Reed. Does anybody have any questions of Reed? Councilman Kilpack?
I'm sorry, but would that bring the home rule back to the city?
That does not bring the home rule back to the city. No. That's a good question, though.
Any other questions, council? Okay, we'll let's have a motion, I guess.
Mayor,
Councilman Shuttren.
I move to authorize the mayor to apply for a Wyoming electrical contractor's license, maintain the aspects of the license, renew said application at the annual renewal period, and to direct city administrator to employ a master electrician of record with the city as long as the Wyoming electrical contractor's license is active.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Shuttren and seconded by Councilman Berg. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Jason. Have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Mayor,
Councilman Shuttren.
make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Shuttren, seconded by Councilman Zimmerman. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries. Mr. City Administrator.
Thanks. Just a couple of quick things. First of all, just we appreciate the support with the IT agreement. That's it's been very difficult. And IT, as everyone knows, is basically a backbone of everything that we're doing. And having this firm be able to come in and having the expertise that they have is going to be helpful. It came in at a better price than we expected, so we're happy to see that. We'll see how we move forward with it. We still plan to hire some network or some IT professional services that is still needed. But that'll be coming in as we go through the budget time. But this will be a good, hopefully a good fix for us in the meantime. We do have a workshop on the 8th. Just FYI, that is going to be an update with the fire department and also to give an update of what's been requested from the county in terms of looking at essential services such as fire with what they are. And the city of Green River already does cover a lot of the county. We were looking at it from a budget perspective on how we need to get the county to start supporting the stuff that we're doing within that coverage. It just so happens that they were also looking at that kind of a level of it. So we're by next week, we'll have a real quick overview and what we look to do for the rest of this fiscal year and possibly in the next fiscal year as well. And then work with the county and their committee to see what kind of support we can gather on doing that. The last thing is we have our budget meetings are starting. I sent a note to Councilman Jost and Councilman Kopeck. And I, if you haven't seen it, I had to resend the schedule. I sent the one for 2021. I have no idea how I did that, but there is the new one for 2023 is there. And that first meeting, if you can get back to me if that works on the times that I sent on Friday, will be our first one, just be an overview. And then as soon as that's done, we'll get the rest of the calendar out for the council to see all the workshops, the budget meetings, all that stuff through there. So, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Reed. Does anybody have any questions of Reed? Okay, Mr. City Attorney, do you have anything for us?
I have no report tonight, Your Honor.
Well, thank you, Galen. Let's start with Councilman Zimmerman.
Thank you, Mayor. Nothing but just shop local, buy American, and back Steve and my team, our pick, the Rams. Go Rams.
My goodness, out of order. Just kidding. Councilman Berg.
Just wanted to give a shout out to the Green River High School cheerleading team. They brought home a co-ed stunt title to back to Green River. So great job. And they're also competing at nationals in Orlando, Florida in 2 weekends. So hopefully they'll be able to put Wyoming on the map. And that's all I've got, Mayor.
Yeah, very good, Councilman Berg. And I did connect with the high school and we're working out the contractual things that we need to do to give the $2,000 that we're giving to help offset the travel costs for the team. So, and they're doing a number of different things for us in return. So great job by the cheerleaders. And I was able to watch them for a few minutes in Mr. Kaur's office today. It was pretty cool. Councilman Shuttrin.
I'd just like to commend the fire department, the local EMS after some of the events that went on this morning. It's times like these that make you realize how important these guys really are because in your time of need, they're there to have your back. So I'd just like to give a shout out to everybody that was involved in stuff this morning. Thank you.
Good job, Councilman Shuttrin. Councilman Jost.
Yeah, and I just want to commend Jason for taking the initiative, getting that license and be willing to use it for the benefit of the city and use his skills to help us out. I really appreciate that. I think it's a very good deal. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, George. Councilman Kilpack.
Support what Councilman Shuttrin said about the fire department. You guys are second to none. So thank you for the good work you do. And also I'd like to pass on what for Jason, what Councilman Joe said. Thank you for stepping forth and helping out the city in that way. And the next question, the last thing I have is, I don't know how to approach this, but I'll just come right out. Can we have our workshop before a council meeting instead of doing it on a Tuesday night? Is there possibilities of doing that? Or does this one require a lot of time? What I'm saying is this workshop on the 8th, could we do that on the 15th and do it at like 6:30 or 6:15?
Yeah, that's totally up to you guys. Yeah, I mean, I would say on this one, there's no imminent need to have it regarding the 8th versus what the county commissioners are doing, although they would like to know where we're standing, but we can definitely get you the details and stuff. And I know that because we already covered the area, it's, it's going to be fine. But yeah, we can move it to that time frame. It's no problem.
But
And should only take no more than half an hour.
yeah, it's the only reason I brought that up is because I've talked to the council and we've talked about maybe having our workshops before council meeting instead of having them on a Tuesday night. And so maybe this would be a good one to start with. And then,
Yeah, we did that on the last workshop.
Yeah,
We
you
moved it
did.
before the
I
council
know.
meeting. So
and so the question would be is
if-
to have them all on.
yeah, and if
Before.
you want them, do them like at 3:00 in the afternoon and be done. No, just
Actually 1 o'clock. But if we could just do them before a council meeting. And then if there is a workshop that's big and we need more time, we could do it on a Tuesday night or something like that.
Actually, I think, Chris, we advertised that already didn't we? So we advertised the
So
one
we
for
need to
the,
stick with the.
we'll stick with the 8th, but we can do that moving forward.
Okay,
Thanks, Chris.
that's all I have.
Okay, we'll have some more discussion on that, just to clarify that. So I just, as the last one, always, everybody's already said these things, but I want to commend Jason for, expanding his opportunities, which expand our opportunities. So thanks, Jason. I want to thank the fire department for a great job again. Good job, you guys, and make sure you pass that on to the group. And I want to note that this gentleman spoke about our community development and our public works department, that we got a bunch of good employees. We know that. We're fortunate throughout every single department in this city that we have excellent employees. And we hear that from the public, which is rather unusual in city government. So great job, everybody. And then the only other thing is sales tax for the month, $860,669. That's in general $120,000 above what we budgeted. No, it was 669. I was thinking 869. Anyway, over $100,000 more than we budgeted, 110,000. Is that right, Reed? Yeah. Never mind. I got it. So again, in another month. So that's a good deal. So things are, we're not out of the woods. We're not in great financial shape, but at least we're going in the right direction. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mayor,
Councilman Shuttrin.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Shuttrin, seconded by Councilman Berg. All in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Hi, David.